Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dawn Does Life, and if you can see all this fabric here, you can probably imagine that I'm going to attempt to make another quilt top, this time for my grandson. And I looked and looked and looked for a jelly roll and could not find one that wasn't more geared towards girls. So I did end up finding a bundle of fat quarters that had this really cool tie-dye pattern on it. So I thought this mixed in with some primary colors would look really cool. And then at the last minute, I thought, you know what? I'm going to put some black into it also because I'm going to do a black backing for him. And I wanted it all kind of to tie together. Each one of these little gatherings of fabric has 7 strips in it, unless I've pulled some out already. So I have a total of 83 strips and I need 80. I might just use the 83. I'm not sure. Basically, my idea is to make the one long strip. So with a jelly roll, you end up making a 1600 inch long strip, and that's using 40 pieces of 40-inch long fabric by 2.5 inches wide. I cut this all last night from the fat quarters, so it's all the 2.5 inches wide, but it's going to be a bit more busy because these strips are only about 20 inches long, hence why I needed 80. Instead of 40. So it's going to be the same idea of quilt, it's just going to be a lot more piecing, I guess, to get it going. But once that strip is done, it's going to be just fine. How you get started with these is you have your first piece of fabric face up, you do your second piece of fabric face down, and then you sew a 1/4 inch seam. Everything is a 1/4 inch seam on these. So you sew a 1/4 inch seam, and then you grab the end of the top piece and bring it up right here. And then you grab a different piece. So I'm going to chain piece it. So that's going to be the first one. Then I bring this one up and then I turn this down, face down. And then I do my second one, bring this one up. And it's just going to be one big long seam with all these loops. And at the end, you just cut in between and you end up with this 1600 inch long strip. That's how I'm going to get it going. I don't know with the 20 inch strips instead of 40 inch how much longer this is going to take, but I would assume that it is going to take a bit longer because there's going to be more sewing. If you guys are interested to see how this is going to turn out with all of these colors, then come with me and let's just go down to the sewing machine and get this started. Okay guys, I hope you can see this. I've got a basket full of all of the pieces of fabric that I'm going to be using, and I'm just going to have it down here beside me and going to grab from it randomly and just go. And this fabric is really hard. It's like it doesn't have a right way. So I'm just going to line these two up. I've got my 1/4 inch foot on my sewing machine. I have my black bobbin and my black thread ready to go. And the other thing I want to do is time how long it takes me. So I'm at 0, gonna press start. All right guys, let's make a quilt. So I'm lining this up so it's gonna be a perfect 1/4 inch every time. It's got a little guide on the side here, and I'm just gonna go for it. And then I just do a couple stitches past, bring this one up, not thinking about it. Make sure I'm not twisting it. And now I'm gonna just fast forward through this process because this will take some time. And when I'm done, I will stop and show you how long this took. Is your healing? Is your healing? Your healing? Is your healing? Is your healing? Your healing? First part is done, and if you can see, all I have is little loops, and now I have to go through and cut them all apart. So I'm going to start at this end, grab my snippers, and this is going to make a string. So if you see, now I'm pulling it and it's just one big long string. And I have a lot to go. Just gonna speed you up through this and I'll come back when I'm done. So it's all done, 1600 inches. So one of the things that happened was at the end, I had more black pieces together. So I'm just gonna go through this really quick and make sure I have all my pieces the right direction and none of them are twisted the wrong way, because now would be the time to fix it if that were the case. So, and actually I'm just going to put this with the needle down, just so I know where my starting position is, because I'm gonna need that. Okay, that took me a hot minute, but everything seems to be in the right position. So the next thing that you have to do with these types of quilts is cut off, they say about, if it was a jelly roll sized strip, they say 18 inches. And the reason is just because if you don't, your seams will match up all the time and you don't want them to. So I'm going to cut this in about half, well maybe 3/4. We'll do it like that. And that's just a piece of scrap. So now I take my two, can raise that up now. So I'm going to take my two pieces, put right sides together, and hope I don't, I'm sorry I just bumped you guys. Hope I don't twist this up too much. And now here is where we start sewing down. And I'm just actually going to put this back in again for a second because I want to pick up all these pieces off the floor and put them back in my basket. So this is 1600 inches long, and we are now going to go cut that in half to 800. So you just want to make sure that you're lining up your fabric, because here is where your 1/4 inch really does matter for uniformity. Let's start this again. So we're at 46 minutes so far. I'll check back in once I've sewn this entire row. So that took me, I think I started at 46 minutes, somewhere around there, maybe 49, and I'm now at an hour and 25. So just to show you, so this is something that happens or can happen very easily with this because you're dealing with such a long, it's like 1,000 feet of string. You're going to end up with a tangle. And that's what's happened. It's twisted at the end here. So all you do is take your scissors, pull it as much as you can. It's not going to be perfect and it does not matter. And you just snip. That's it. And then you untwist it under here and you continue to finish off your line. And if it's not even, don't worry about it. You have to square up the quilt top before you put your quilting on it anyway. So you just finish, go off the end, and cut. So that took a really long time. You're gonna go through a lot of thread, and I have my bobbins here and I'm just gonna change it now. So I get my bobbins pre-wound. They're not that expensive and it saves me having to do it, and half the time when I try to wind it I screw it up in some way, so I'm happy to buy them already done. So now we have 2, and here's where you're going to start to see it go a lot quicker. So I am just going to do that same thing, put my needle down just so I can go through this. And look at this pile. Like 1,600 inches is now, this is 800 inches of fabric. So I'm just going to go through and find the other end because I need to. Okay guys, so now we are going from a 2 strip to 4, and I'm just placing them together, face together again, right sides together. Can't talk apparently. And I'm just going to, so we went from 800, now we're going down to 400 when we're done this. And this is the point where it starts to get fun. So I am just gonna get my timer here again. And I'm gonna start it. So we're at 1 hour, 25 minutes, and I'm gonna start that. And we'll just get going on this one now. This one should be a bit quicker. Okay, so that one I think went a little faster, and I lucked out this time. The end of my seam did not twist. So all you have to do is take your scissors and cut there. And cut. There we go. So, whoops. So we're at 1 hour, 52 minutes. I'm going to stop it. And we've now gone to 4 wide. And you're starting to see the whole idea of like how it gets all broken up. So once again, just going to put my needle down and find the other end. Make no mistake, we're still at 400 inches. We've got a ways to go. And let's just match this up as good as we can. The ends are never going to be even on this one. and you just don't worry about it. That's my best advice. All right, so now we're 4 wide and we're going to 8 wide. 400 inches down to 200 inches. Okay, you guys, just had to go get a drink and feed my kitty and play with my birds for a minute. So we're at 152, gonna press start and catch you on the other side. Sorry, my husband called and he's in BC right now, so I was just taking his call and trying to talk to him while I was sewing this. But anyways, we are now up to 8 rows. Okay, so this one, we're at 209. I think we start, so that took me like 20 minutes, if that. I'm just gonna put this down and we'll find the other end again. It's getting faster and faster and faster. Okay, so we're 8 rows and we're now about to go to 16. Oh, my thread came out. I'll have to fix that. And oh, I should check my bobbin too. Oh yeah, I've got lots. Okay, I should be good. So it gets a little bit harder to deal with all of this fabric off the side, because as you're sewing, the weight of this wants to pull it. So that's one thing I've noticed about doing these, but I assume that would be the case. Oh my God, what the hell did I just do? I assume that would be the case with any quilt you were doing as it got wider. There we go. Okay, let's get to our 16 wide. And there you guys go. I mean, that's 16 wide. I think we might be on our last row right now. So we are at 2 hours, 19 minutes, and I'm just not even gonna stop it. I'm gonna keep going because, like I said, I think this might be our last row. I will say, with this much fabric hanging out the side, it's starting to get, it does get a little awkward because you have all of this weight over here that's kind of pulling the fabric. So you do have to stop and adjust quite a bit more than you did in the beginning. All right, let's go. Okay, oops, I think I just bumped you guys again. There is so much material here, so I may bump you. I'm just gonna do my last cut here. Got a ways to go yet. This is crazy. But there you have it, 32 rows. and I am just gonna go iron this and then come back and I will show you the finished product. Okay, you guys, so 2 hours 31 minutes, and I would actually take off between 5 and 10 minutes because I forgot to turn it off. But this thing, 2.5 hours for this is not bad. There is no circumstance where I'm going to be able to show this entire thing in one go. Maybe I'll insert some footage of it with my iPhone. Maybe I can get far enough away from it to do the entire thing, but I love that I decided to put in the black. The colors are good. I think this is going to look so good with a black background. This is the first half. Like, do you guys see how long this is? This is only half of it, but I think those tie-dyed prints looked really good with the primary colors. It turned out so much better than I thought. Part of the quilt has less black than the other part, but I think I, at the beginning, told you that I ended up with a lot of black strips at the end, so I knew there was going to be a section that had more. I have not measured this, but I may end up cutting off some of the length because it's so big. It's so much bigger than I thought it would be. Width, I meant. Maybe I'll cut off some of the width. That's what I meant. I'm still kind of shocked that it only took 2.5 hours to do this. But this thing is just so gorgeous, you guys. I love it. I hope Ashton loves it. I'm really hoping he loves it. So this journey was all about showing you guys that, I mean, I am not an experienced sewer by any stretch of the imagination, and I was able to make something that looks actually quite nice. At least I think it looks quite nice. I hope you guys do too. This was just to show you that anybody can do this. If you have a sewing machine and you can sew a straight line, you can make a quilt like this, or a quilt top like this. And it takes just a couple of hours to do it. Not a complicated process, but I find it fun. I love that you start off with the one strip and then you go to 2 and then you go to 4 and then you go to 8. Like, I just love seeing it kind of all come together. So if you enjoyed watching this journey and you found this helpful, or it's going to inspire you to maybe do something, I really love it if you guys gave me a thumbs up. And then as well, if you're brand new to the channel, I would love it if you also subscribed. You guys, I'm really happy with the progress. Not bad for 2.5 hours. Anyways, you guys, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day whenever you're watching this, and I'm gonna give you a big virtual hug. Go grab somebody you love and give them one too, and I will catch you guys all in the next video. Bye.